Most people who watched Return to Macon County walked away believing Beau's car was a glossy, iconic '57 Bel Air. But what if I told you that the hero of the entire film wasn't a Bel Air at all, and that this mistake has fooled fans for nearly 50 years? Because the truth is far stranger. The yellow street machine tearing across the screen was actually a humble 1957 Chevy 210, a lighter, cheaper, stripped-down cousin of the Bel Air, and the production quietly used multiple versions of it without ever telling the audience. One scene shows a full chrome bumper. The very next shot? It's gone. The wheels change, the stance shifts, and the engine sound? It's way too aggressive for any factory-spec 283 Chevrolet ever built. So what was really going on with Beau's '57? Why does the car behave like three different machines stitched into one? And what kind of engine was under the hood to produce that raw, shaking idle that sounds nothing like a stock small block? Today, we're opening the classified file. These are the 20 weird secrets hidden behind Beau's forgotten hot rod. Secrets that will change how you see this car forever. Number 20. The myth. It was never a Bel Air. For decades, fans confidently labeled Beau's car as a '57 Bel Air. That's the default assumption anytime a 1957 Chevy flashes on screen. But freeze the frame, look closer, and the truth jumps out. This isn't the glamorous Bel Air at all. It's the humbler, lighter 1957 Chevy 210, a trim level missing the iconic gold badges, chrome flourishes, and luxury pieces people associate with the model. That single misidentification has fueled online debates for years. Number 19. The paint job wasn't a factory color. And here's the twist. Even if it were a Bel Air, it never wore a factory-correct color anyway. The production chose a loud, metallic yellow not available on any Chevy 1957 showroom sheet. It's a full-blown street machine repaint, tailored to stand out in gritty 1970 seconds cinematography. Number 18. Multiple cars used, but no one noticed. But things get stranger. Continuity errors reveal that the crew used at least 2 or 3 different 1957 Chevy 210 seconds. Bumper configurations change. Wheel styles switch mid-scene. Even the stance shifts from shot to shot. These aren't mistakes, they're clues. Clues that the hero car was really a rotating cast, each version built for a different purpose, and the audience was never supposed to notice. Number 17. The bumper disappears in several scenes. One of the earliest clues that something strange was happening behind the scenes lies in the front bumper. In certain shots, Beau's 1957 Chevy proudly wears a full chrome bumper. But cut to the next scene, gone. In some moments it's partially removed, in others it's completely stripped. This wasn't an accident. It suggests that the production rotated different cars depending on the stunt. A fuller bumper for beauty shots, a lighter configuration for chase sequences. Number 16. Wheels swap randomly between shots. Then the wheels begin telling their own story. The car alternates between plain Steelies and Craigar-style chrome wheels, sometimes within the same scene. Rear wheels even appear wider in certain shots, hinting at a drag-oriented setup. Each wheel change is a fingerprint, revealing just how many versions of the same car were in play. Number 15. Missing trim. It was never supposed to have it. Fans often think pieces of chrome trim fell off during filming. But here's the truth. There was nothing missing at all. The Chevy 210 never had Bel Air trim to begin with. No gold V emblem, no luxury side molding. The car wasn't damaged, just misunderstood, even by die-hard Chevy enthusiasts. Number 14. The engine sound doesn't match, a 283. Most 1957 Chevy 210 seconds came with a mild 283 V8. But listen closely to Beau's car. The sound is far too aggressive, too sharp, too eager. It revs faster than any stock 283 ever could. This suggests the production didn't just use a different car, they probably used a different engine entirely. Many fans believe a hotter 327 or even a 350 small block was swapped in. It's one of the earliest clues that the hero car was secretly a performance build. Number 13. The hot idle shake reveals a performance cam. When the car sits at idle, it doesn't purr, it shakes. It lopes. It has that uneven, rolling heartbeat only a performance camshaft can create. Stock cams run smooth. This one clearly doesn't. Someone on the crew knew exactly how to make the car sound meaner on camera. Number 12. The exhaust note was recorded hot and raw. Another clue lies in the way the exhaust was recorded. The mic was placed extremely close, capturing a raw, unfiltered, borderline violent tone. It doesn't sound like a Hollywood sound effect. It sounds like the real car, recorded hot, running richer than stock, misfiring slightly, like a street machine tuned for bite over refinement. Number 11. Interior stripped for weight reduction. At first glance, the inside of Beau's '57 Chevy looks plain, maybe even neglected. But freeze the right frames and something becomes clear. Parts of the interior weren't missing, they were removed on purpose. In several scenes, the rear seat is completely gone. That's a classic hot rodder move to cut weight for better acceleration. It turns the car from a family sedan into a lightweight street brawler built for long highway pulls. Number 10. Aftermarket tachometer appears out of nowhere. Then there's the enormous aftermarket tachometer mounted on the steering column, something the 210 never had from the factory. But it doesn't appear in every shot. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it vanishes entirely. That inconsistency proves at least one of the filming cars wasn't equipped the same way. One car was likely set up for interior close-ups, another for exterior action shots, each with different accessories installed or removed. Number 9. Suspension height changes between shots. Watch the stance closely and the car transforms right in front of you. In some scenes, the rear end sits higher, giving it that drag race rake. In others, the ride height is noticeably lower. This isn't camera illusion. It's evidence of multiple builds, each tuned differently for stunts, beauty shots, or durability. Number 8. The chase scenes required different builds. By this point, it becomes undeniable. The production didn't rely on a single hero car. They used specialized builds. Some versions of the '57 Chevy were tuned for high-speed runs, with stiffer suspension and wider rear tires. Others were beauty cars, cleaner, shinier, and used for close-up dialogue shots. And then there were the stunt cars, lightened, stripped, and sometimes missing pieces. Each build left subtle fingerprints across the movie, creating the illusion of one unstoppable machine, when in reality, it was a small fleet working together. Number 7. Taillights and chrome change between angles. If you compare certain scenes closely, the taillights tell a bizarre story. Sometimes the left taillight shines brighter, sometimes the chrome around it looks newer. In other shots, trim on one side seems dull or misaligned. These inconsistencies aren't random. They're the result of swapping between different cars mid-sequence, each with slightly different wear, age, and restoration levels. Number 6. Some cars had mechanical issues during filming. Old cars overheat, they leak, they vibrate themselves apart. And during filming, several of the '57 Chevys reportedly suffered from fuel leaks, overheating, and ignition issues. When a car died, the crew didn't wait, they simply rolled in another. These emergency swaps explain why certain scenes radically change the car's stance, wheels, or small details without warning. Number 5. The car's weight distribution made it hard to control. Beau's '57 Chevy looks fearless on screen, but stunt drivers reported the car was far from stable at high speeds. The lightened interior, uneven tire setups, and inconsistent suspension between the different builds made the car unpredictable. At 70-80 miles per hour, the rear end tended to float, and minor steering corrections could throw the car offline. That's why several high-speed shots were handled by trained stunt drivers, even if the movie tries to make it look like Beau is casually flooring it across state lines. Number 4. The yellow paint reflected light badly on camera. The iconic bright yellow paint wasn't just loud, it was blinding. Under 1,970 seconds lighting and film stock, the reflective metallic finish caused glare, overexposure, and color distortion. Cinematographers had a tough time maintaining consistency. Some scenes required adjusted filters or reshoots simply because the paint bounced too much sunlight, making the car almost glow unnaturally on camera. Number 3. Some scenes used hidden push vehicles. Here's a secret most viewers never spot. In a few acceleration shots, the '57 Chevy is actually being helped by a hidden push vehicle off camera. This trick was common in older productions when a stunt car wasn't performing reliably. A second vehicle nudged the Chevy forward, creating a more dramatic launch without risking engine damage or blown parts. Number 2. No one knows what happened to the hero car. Most iconic movie cars end up in museums, private collections, or at least auction records. But Beau's 1957 Chevy? It simply vanished. No official paperwork, no photos of it after filming, no confirmed sales, not even a rumor solid enough to trust. For a car featured so prominently in a cult film, its disappearance is almost eerie. Some fans believe it was wrecked and scrapped. Others think it was quietly sold off as a cheap used car, stripped of its movie identity. And a few insist it might still be sitting in a forgotten barn somewhere in the American South, its yellow paint faded, its secret life unknown. The mystery has never been solved. Number 1. Fan restorations came closer to the real car than the original. Here's the strangest twist of all. The most accurate versions of Beau's '57 Chevy weren't built by the studio, but by fans. Because the movie used multiple mismatched cars, no single on-screen vehicle was ever 100% correct. Modern restorers studied the inconsistencies and combined the best details from each version, creating replicas that ironically capture the spirit of the car more faithfully than the actual prop ever did. In a way, fans perfected what the film only hinted at. When you piece all 20 clues together, a strange picture forms. Beau's '57 Chevy was never just a car in a movie. It was a chameleon, a patchwork, a collection of machines stitched together to play a single role. Some versions were loud and angry, some were stripped and fragile, some were polished enough to survive a close-up. And yet somehow, all of them, every mismatched part, every swapped bumper, every inconsistent wheel combined to create a single, unforgettable icon. In Return to Macon County, the Chevy doesn't just carry the characters across the country. It carries the tone of the film, the roughness, the freedom, the unpredictability of the open road. It represents a moment in American cinema when cars weren't digital props or million-dollar collectibles. They were tools. They were weapons. They were disposable, dangerous, imperfect, and real. Maybe that's why the hero car's disappearance feels strangely fitting. It didn't retire to a museum or auction stage. It simply lived its life, served its purpose, and vanished like most street machines of its era. No spotlight, no ceremony, just gone. But thanks to fans, restorers, and decades of obsession, Beau's yellow 1957 Chevy 210 lives on. Not as a single car, but as a legend recreated, reinterpreted, and kept alive by the people who loved it enough to rebuild it better than before. In the end, that might be the most poetic fate a movie car can have. If this breakdown opened your eyes to the secrets behind Beau's forgotten '57 Chevy, then buckle up, there's a lot more where that came from. Dive into our other deep dive files on legendary movie machines and see what Hollywood never wanted you to notice. Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next case file. The road keeps going and the stories only get wilder from here.